All right, folks, a lot of us are still in mourning. A lot of us feel terrible, but it's time to get back in action and get back into the fight. It just is what it is. It's a terrible, terrible thing that happened the whole week. This whole week, I've just been sick to my stomach. I've been in shock, like many of you. Cannot believe a fellow soldier got taken down. But, folks, this is trench warfare. And now you know more than ever, this is war. This is what it looks like. Fifth generation warfare right here. They're not playing by any rules. So we need to get in the fight, roll up our sleeves, get in the fight, and continue the fight for Charlie Kirk. That's what he would want. To me, it was like not only a shot heard across around the world, but they really took out one of our most important, biggest soldiers out there making a difference. The guy was out there time and time again, day after day, week after week, month after month, not only talking about Christianity, but spreading the word of the nuclear family, really having students think about how important it is to embrace the family, have children, get married, have children. And folks, coming from my past, I was a degenerate. I was a degenerate. I did everything under the sun. I have no regrets. But now that I'm older, looking back on my life, I'm almost, to me, after seeing someone like Charlie Kirk, I'm almost ashamed of the way I live my life. But it made me who I am today. It made me who I am today, and I'm in the fight, and I believe God has me here for a reason. All of us are here for a reason. And we got to pick up the torch of Charlie Kirk and move on. That's what he would want. He wouldn't want us to slow down, not even this much. He'd want us to fight harder, and that's what we got to do. You see a lot of these insane people on TikTok celebrating, on Instagram, these influencers. Let it be, folks. That's fine. We're coming harder now more than ever. All right? More than ever. 18,000 chapters have opened up on Turning Point chapters have opened up across the country. So, folks, hit the notification button. I got 107 joining us today. He's going to be on. He's in the back room. He's in the green room. Hit the notification button, spread, share, like, do all that good stuff. Venmo is D-ROD1977, D-ROD1977. Folks, when the lights go out on Amazon, I got to go through all this just for a second. When the lights go out on Amazon, leave an honest review. And then my mama's book, The Mexican Mix, on Amazon as well. Please leave her an honest review as well. And, folks, don't forget, get your trim with Nino, baby. A growing body of research shows that when you diet, your body fights back. Levels of, I think you say it, ghrelin, the hunger hormone, I may have that wrong, shoots up, while leptin, the hormone that signals fullness, drops. That's why most diets feel like an endless battle. It's the more weight you try to lose, the hungrier you get. It's a willpower issue. It's literally your biology. This is why I use my secret weight loss weapon, and I'm obsessed with the results. It's a BioTrust GLP-1. GLP-1 Elevate is designed to naturally trigger my own body's weight loss signals without drugs, prescriptions, or needles. It provides safety and a feeling of fullness, reduces cravings, reduces hunger hormones, helps me lose fat instead of muscle, and supports healthy blood sugar levels. Be sure to grab a bottle of it now while it's 50% off and start experiencing the real results today. Only at Trim with Nino, baby. It's right there. You just hit the link down below. Plus, by ordering now, you'll also be guaranteed 2 free ebooks titled The 3-Week Diet and 53 Fat-Burning Smoothies and Shakes. Go to the website down below and hit it, folks. All right, so let's get into this. Oh, by the way, General's Tent this time is going to be Stuart Swerdlow with Laura Eisenhower on the 19th, so just this Friday at 5 p.m. Now, I'm still trying to coordinate with Charlie Ward for the 28th, so there might be a double General's Tent this month. It's going to be awesome. He's going to talk about Montauk. He's a survivor at Montauk, trauma-based programming, mind control, the whole thing, and we're going to talk about the Charlie Kirk assassination and how this is mind control for the masses, this trauma-based programming. Charlie Ward could be on the 28th. I'm still trying to figure out, iron out the kinks on that one. But the 19th is the General's Tent with Stuart Swerdlow and Laura Eisenhower. Also, Ringside with Nino, baby. Ringside with Nino. If you can't afford the General's Tent, you can afford Ringside with Nino. And that's going to be not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday at 5 p.m. And we'll be going over everything that I get from the inside, folks, all of us together, wargaming it, the Black Sheep family. Folks, Nino's Corner.tv. I got Joshua Reed up there talking about the Charlie Kirk assassination. I got United States Secret Service John Carmen up there pointing out some anomalies, some weird, all the weird things that we're seeing on the internet right now, trying to make sense of it. Got Wano Saban going up today. I just did the interview with him last night, and I'm doing a morning show with him today right now. He's going to be hopping on in just a second. The Ghost is coming on, Danny and Brinkley, and you might want to turn it down or turn it up, baby. Yeah, nobody's stopping us, folks. We're going full throttle, full speed ahead. Here we go. Ready? Coming at you live from the apocalypse, folks. Yeah, in remembrance of Charlie Kirk, baby. Yeah. Man, we've lost some good soldiers. Hulk Hogan, Charlie Kirk, George Foreman, Ricky Hatton just died. The boxer Ricky Hatton just died a couple days ago or yesterday. Man, I understand people die, but doesn't it seem like it's a little more than usual? I don't know. Trump is reportedly preparing to take over the Federal Reserve, from what I'm hearing. I'm going to ask Juan about that some more. Most people have no idea how insane the coming price shock will be. I think he's getting ready to go all in. I don't know about you folks, but sometimes I feel like I want a one-way ticket the fuck out of America. If I wasn't a fighter and I was just going to fold up camp, I'd get the hell out of here. The mental illness, the mental insanity that's spreading across every state in this country is so severe and so disgusting and so sick. I can't even stomach it. I don't even like to go on social media anymore because I'm going to see someone on there going, oh, Charlie Kirk passed away. Oh, sorry. These people are sick. It's a cesspool for mental illness. It breeds, I don't know, it's the schools, the universities, churches even now. And let's not forget the churches are breeding this sexual schizophrenia. What am I? Who am I? What do I do? What is this? What do I have on my body? I don't know. Delusions of grandeur, narcissism, sociopath, psychopath, celebrity worship, Satanism, and violence all rolled into one right here in America. And we have to live with these people. At some point, maybe I will be seriously exploring my options because there's no cure for these people unless you just, I don't know, extermination? I don't know. Because it seems to me like this mental illness or demonic possession is spreading like wildfire. And excuse me, I don't want to be around it. I just don't want to be around it. Can we give them their own state? Can we section off a state and just let them all go there? I don't know. Portland, Washington State. The Charlie Kirk assassination is proof you cannot reason with these people in my mind. They're rabies-infected dogs. Demonic possession is real. The only cure for this is Jesus Christ. Really, that's what it comes to for me. That's where I'm at with this. They're rabies-infected dogs, and they will bite you. Charlie Kirk was into the rabies-infected dog den day after day, week after week, and month after month, trying to reason and spread logic to these rabies-infected animals while expecting to never get bit. You know, every time I went into the ring, they said, keep your hands up, protect yourself at all times. Charlie Kirk was not protecting himself at all times. And I don't trust anybody that was around him, just like I don't trust anybody who's around Trump. But folks, he finally got bit. There's a lesson to be learned here. We are trying to reason with demonic possession. We are trying to reason with the mentally ill. Folks, I have a friend, and he's one of my best friends, who's schizophrenic. I don't tell him he's wrong. I go along with his stories. You know, I mean, you just got to go with it sometimes. You just got to go with his stories. That's what I've learned about mentally ill people. They don't know it. They don't know they're fucking they don't know it. They have a seared conscience. And if they can't win by a discussion or a debate, they have now shown they will use violence. And let me tell you, folks, more to come is what I'm thinking here. After this Charlie Kirk thing, I'm thinking, oh, there's going to be a lot of copycats, a lot of people that are going to jump on the ship or are going to jump on board with this kind of reasoning, like, oh, just take them out. It's better for America. Just got to take them out. We don't want to hear about families and Jesus Christ or love. No! You must die! For me, this is a huge marker for things to come. I believe there's way more to this story than what the MSN and FBI are telling us, and it's sorry, I don't trust either of them anymore. Just gonna say it. As much as I like Cash Patel, Dan Bongino, just sorry. The Epstein files, I just kind of lost trust in you guys. Sorry. I know I feel like everybody here on my show. I know everybody in my audience feels the same way. Let's hear what 107 has to say about it. Hold on, Alex. Don't put them on yet. So I do feel there's way more to the story than MSN and FBI are telling us. I'm not saying Tyler Robinson wasn't involved. I think he absolutely was involved. But I'm just saying this was highly orchestrated, highly professional. There's a lot of things that don't make sense. A lot of things that don't make sense. And I think it was a hit, a professional hit to send MAGA and a message to MAGA and Trump. I think foreign interests absolutely could be involved. I mean, we're all looking at his donors. You know, that little country in the Middle East. I'm looking at them too. So these people have shown they're not willing to negotiate with us. They're not willing to talk. They're not willing to have conversation. And this will escalate. This will absolutely escalate. This is mental illness. This is demonic possession. Now, what I'm going to talk to Juan about as he comes on is, how is Trump going to respond to this situation? Will he go full throttle and deploy the National Guard into Democratic hellholes? We know that's all coming. But as he promised, is it going to happen? Is he really now going to go all in? What's going to happen with Israel? We're all questioning that. Will he continue to pursue with arrests like he's promised? I'm just hoping he's not shaken up by this, because we know this was a warning shot to MAGA and Trump. That's what this was, and to Christianity, and to all the families out there who are just trying to live a good and clean life. They don't want you. They don't want you interrupting them. Their lifestyles. I've always said Charlie Kirk was just simply holding up the mirror, and it was up to you to fix the person in the reflection. So you didn't. You just shot the man holding the mirror. That's what you did. You said, I don't like this reflection. Who's the guy holding up the mirror? Oh, him. Bing! Gone! That's what happened. You didn't like your reflection, so you shot the guy holding up the mirror. That's really what happened here. No, I can't look at that. It's evil. It's disgusting. Who's holding this mirror up? Do I have to tolerate this image? Oh, you, Charlie Kirk? Bam! TPUSA has received over 18,000 new chapter requests in stunning show of support. Man, this is huge. As the outpouring of love and support for Turning Point USA, co-founder Charlie Kirk continues following his senseless assassination Wednesday, a Minnesota state congressman says TPUSA has received a staggering number of requests to create new chapters. Minnesota State Representative Elliot Engen, I think that's how you say last name, shared a screenshot of X reporting that the group has received 18,000 new chapter requests since Erica spoke Friday night. That's amazing. That's huge. Unbelievable. So more and more chapters are being formed. So Charlie Kirk lives on, and he's going to be stronger than ever. Now I'm hoping someone can fill that vacuum. And we got to be careful who's trying to fill the vacuum. Like Ben Shapiro. Nah. Oh, man. Many others, by the way. And I found this to be very peculiar, and I'm going to ask Juan O'Savin about this. But on the same day Charlie Kirk was assassinated, I don't believe in coincidences. I really don't believe in coincidences. The House passed a $893 billion National Defense Authorization Bill. The bill includes more than $650 million in U.S.-Israel defense cooperation programs. Among those, around $500 million in earmarked for missile defense cooperation systems like Iron Dome, David Sling Arrow, and some funds for joint R&D and related projects. The measure also includes language that restricts the executive branch, which is President Trump, from withholding or reversing delivery of these funds, your tax dollars. So that all happened on the day of Charlie Kirk's death, ladies and gentlemen. Look over here, not over here. It's a magic trick. Just putting things together for you. I don't know. They don't make sense to me. Teacher allegedly showed Charlie Kirk assassination video to 10 and 11-year-olds. Are you kidding me? And told the students he deserved it. This is where we're at in America. Look at that article right there. A public school teacher has been suspended. Oh, she's only been suspended, huh? After allegedly showing a video of Charlie Kirk's assassination to students as young as 10 in his class, authorities in Canada said. The teacher also suggested that Kirk deserved to be killed and gave the young students a speech about anti-fascism and transgender issues. Oh, my Lord. According to a report, several students from the class went home and complained to their parents, traumatized at witnessing the on-camera death, which were forced to witness numerous times over, a source told the Toronto Sun after the shocking incident at the school in Toronto on Thursday. So this teacher's been suspended. He's been suspended. Charlie Kirk's assassin, Tyler Robinson, is under special watch after telling his dad he'd rather die than hand himself in. I just think there's so much more to this story. So much more. And you see people like Candace Owens, all kinds of podcasters out there really dissecting this and tearing it apart, surgically dismantling the whole narrative. So, the same people that told you Lee Harvey Oswald killed JFK are telling you that it's Tyler Robinson. Gift card winner number one, that's no moon. I like that. I like that a lot. Gift card winner number one, congratulations, that's no moon. You are the winner of the cheap date with Sancho. Orale, vato. You got a chicken dinner. Wiener, chicken dinner. All right. One more thing here. Trans partner of Charlie Kirk, suspect, praised Joe Biden before conservative activists as the shot, as a link to bizarre furry lifestyle is revealed. So he's also a furry. The transgender partner of Charlie Kirk's alleged shooter shared a post online appearing to show support for President Joe Biden. You don't say. Lance Twiggs. Wow. A 22-year-old wannabe pro gamer and roommate of main suspect Tyler Robinson, also 22, made the remark in a Reddit post. It has now been widely reported that Twiggs was transitioning genders and was allegedly in a romantic relationship with Robinson. Now, also, I've heard rumors that this guy's the perfect suspect, right? This is the perfect guy for this. Also, I've heard rumors that there were license plates. The neighbors complained of cars showing up with out-of-state license plates at Tyler Robinson's house, and it made the neighbors very uneasy that he was being visited frequently by these out-of-state license plates, and the neighbors were like, what the hell's going on here? What is this about? Who are these people? And that it made them feel very uneasy. So there's that as well. Also, the White House requests $58 million to increase security for executive judicial branches after Charlie Kirk shooting. Sources say the Trump administration is sending 58 million requests to Congress to increase security for the executive and judicial branches in the wake of the killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Multiple sources familiar with the matter told CBS News Saturday. Let's bring Juan on. Juanito, are you there, El Juanito?
Hey, sure am.
Sorry, I had to get through my ads and everything. So Juan, man, obviously we know there's more to the story here. There's so much going on. I know there's a lot of tensions that are picking up internationally as well. Can we expect this now to escalate to levels we never thought before we could see?
Well, I failed to get there yesterday in the interview we did last night that you're going to release in a few hours. One thing I wanted to finish, in fact, I sent you a kind of a picture, a chart, texted to you a few minutes ago. What happens in societies when you go through the various stages to where we are right now, we're really at next to a last stage by many people's accounting in the way that these types of leftist groups will express themselves.
Societal breakdown.
Well, I would actually say it the exact opposite. Before Charlie was assassinated, just a couple days before, you had a very high-profile statement from Elon that he had a God experience, that he had a life-changing experience. Something happened, and he felt strongly enough about it that he needed to talk to the public and express what had happened in his private time, his heart, come to Jesus moment, if you will. That's not unique. Over the last many months, and probably because of some societal turning point being reached, this boomerang, the apex of the boomerang starting back, more and more people are expressing and noting that they're having literally turning to God moment, turning point moment. And as I've said to your audience numerous times, there's in America, there is some kind of a move of God moment that's coming, on a national scale, even across the world. Before this thing happened with Charlie. And if you watch the devil himself, if you will, but people that are under that kind of influence, an MK Ultra type situation, the programming starts to break down as the victims get older, and it becomes harder and harder to hold somebody in that trauma-induced programmed state. The programming breaks down. As it does, pretty consistently, they will have a God moment, turn to God. In fact, one of Roseanne and my friends was a victim of MK Ultra programming, and she got into her mid-30s. It completely broke down. She went a different direction. Famously, a CIA officer set aside his work and worked just in that deprogramming. And it can take a long time. It can take, decades, really. But that once the programming doesn't work anymore, it doesn't matter what you do. They don't care. I'm having Stuart
Swerdlow. I'm having Stuart Swerdlow on, the MK Ultra survivor, on the Generals Tent to talk about this issue and the trauma-based programming. I've never seen.
Well, think of a society. That's the only thing I want to say. Think of a society where it's breaking, not just an individual, and that's what's happening with America. Remember, we've been browbeat very hard as a people and across the world by people literally doing the devil's business. As you break that and people turn, it doesn't matter what you do, what you say. Once it's over, it's over. It's flipped. And That's what we're really seeing. When you say, I want to leave America, where can I go different? The reality is these people are wanting to hold us in a certain place, and it's not working anymore. They're off on their own. They're going to go a different direction. We as a
Juan,
society are going a different direction.
also, when you really think about this, the whole world is going through it. I mean, there's candlelight vigils all over the place. But,
well,
I
3
just
million
realized,
people in the streets of London. 3 million.
yeah, 3 million. You're right.
And
Like,
we're
this has
done.
affected everybody.
Yeah.
But I don't even remember. And what I was going to get at is, I know as horrible and horrific 9/11 was, it was very shocking. I don't even remember the morning the way it is now. I feel like, and I could be wrong on this, I could maybe not be remembering correctly, but for this whole week, the morning and the sickness and the shock that I'm feeling, it's right up, it's right there with 9/11, if not even more. I don't know what it is, why I'm feeling, because he was such a good man, such an innocent man, spreading love and light and family values, and got taken out by these mentally deranged lunatics. I can't figure out why I'm feeling this way.
Well, again, when you've been under the programming, when the glass shatters, if you will, for some people it's kind of a fog, but it's not usually that way. It's fairly sudden, instant. It's like a glass shattering, not just a fog lifting so much. And that's what happens in society. That's what's just happened to us. It's something shattering broke the matrix, if you will.
Juan, let me break just for a second for a mid roll real quick, folks. Folks, a growing body of research shows that when you diet, your body fights. Oh, sorry, wrong commercial. There we go. All right, now we got it. A 2025 survey found that over half of the U.S. adults are concerned about how fast their skin is aging, and 40% fixate on random wrinkles or dark spots. If that sounds like you're not alone. More and more people are noticing visible changes in their skin far earlier than expected. Yeah, I know, folks. Get used to it. This is why I use my secret anti-aging weapon, and I do use this all the time. I'm obsessed with the changes I've noticed in my skin. It provides my skin with the 5 must-have types of premium collagen needed to help reduce wrinkles. Since taking it, I've experienced smoother skin, more elasticity, fewer fine lines, and a more youthful glow. Plus, it mixes smoothly with my morning coffee or tea, and you get no bad taste or clumps. Go to Ageless Multi-Collagen now while it's 51% off at Health with Nino, folks. That's also down there in the bottom. Yes, I take it every day, and I think I look pretty good. I'm going to be 48, Juan. I'm going to be 48 September 18th. I can't believe I'm an old man.
Any of us make it this far.
I can't believe it either. I can't believe I'm going to be 48. I can't believe it, but I still feel pretty good. But Juanito, so I'm also seeing that, and I want to know how you feel about this, because I'm seeing a lot of companies, Office Depot, Delta, a lot of them are disciplining their employees. Some of them are firing their employees that have been speaking out on TikTok or on Instagram, celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. What do you think the punishment should be for someone coming out celebrating is it freedom of speech? I mean, in America, this would be considered freedom of speech, but also there's people coming out making more threats, saying you should have taken out his whole family. How do we handle this type of situation? I mean, should they be fired from their job? Should they not be? Should they be apprehended? I mean, could they be a danger to society?
Well, again, that's what I was trying to explain, that even as a society, we've been being MK Ultra, trauma-based programming. Trauma has been induced on us as a people and peoples around the world, and so we tolerate, put up with madness, if you will, insanity, and because we just want to get along, go along. When a society flips, just like an individual, all of that programming, all of that control just shatters. And this is a shattering event for their controls. Now, what's the next step that would happen? They won't be done with the guerrilla sniping, like taking out a Charlie Kirk or some other individuals or institutions. They'll try to do that for a little bit longer, probably. But the next step is mass action, where it's take out a whole city. Is it a minor nuke? Is it uh, burning things down, multiple cities, the 14 cities I've talked about? Some type of an attempt will be made to cause, this civil war, this mass action across the country. It won't work, and so they will be self-retreating back to their strongholds. And you might start with 100 or 200 cities with some kind of BS action, like happened before with Antifa and BLM, but that will not be sustainable. And so they'll fall back to their main cities that they want to, over immigration or 50 other issues that'll all be convoluted together. And that's this next stage that we really come into not too far along. And you'll see in that chart that I sent you, that's what it calls for. They go to some kind of larger destructive action. They didn't get things that they wanted. They didn't get the full COVID. They didn't get a nuclear event in Seattle.
What do you think is in the cards now, Juanito? What do you think they're getting ready to do now?
Well, some kind of a mass actions that aren't just an individual, but to traumatize us as a country in the midst of stuff we're doing to take things apart. You mentioned the Federal Reserve a moment ago. There is a huge monetary action coming, and it's to stop this captured situation on our money supply and return it back to Treasury control and away from Federal Reserve. And it won't be done in 1 hour or something like that. It'll be
but they know
a series of events.
They know Trump's making the moves, right? And I would imagine that this only pissed him off more. And I know he's still got to be very calculated and surgical in what he's doing. I mean, we are fighting a massive enemy in the globalists and the deep state. But what can we expect from Trump to happen fairly soon? I mean, you told my audience right before Charlie Kirk was assassinated that MAGA was going to have a victory that week, and that was anything but a victory. So a lot of my audience members are asking, "Oh, did Juanito know something? Was he being sarcastic? What's going on here?" Like, they're very confused about that. Can you clarify that for them?
Yeah, there's something that has happened, but you'll hear a little bit more about it over the next probably 4 or 5 days, I think. So it definitely affected.
As we're talking about this, what you're walking up to. Golly.
Yep. So
mental illness everywhere. So what do you, Juan? I mean, so is Trump going to start deploying the National Guard into Chicago? Is it already happening? I heard that they're already starting the plans. It's starting the movements beginning.
Well, let me just say this: Chicago, for decades and decades and decades, was always talked about behind the scenes as being the location where a second nuke would be detonated. But that was before, when they were expecting to get their first one there in Seattle. So is that thrown off? Not going to happen. Remember, they intended to do something like COVID.
No, hold on. Be careful with that
year
word.
before.
Don't say that. Don't say that word.
Okay, well, that's right. Okay, a year before, didn't happen. And so their schedule hasn't been. We've talked about this, where we've talked about how many things didn't happen that the cabal, if you will, these people operating their little secret handshake and society stuff, fully expected to be able to pull off, and it didn't happen. With that in mind, are they on schedule now? Can they maintain any type of a schedule? And I'm telling you that I believe they can't. There's a move of God happening. Would I leave the country at this point in time? Are you kidding? It's going it's
All right, Juan,
turning.
we got to address something because I'm seeing a lot of these comments. People want you to address: is Charlie Kirk still alive?
No.
Okay,
And
thank you. He's not alive. Hold on. My cousin was there. He saw everything happen. He's dead, folks. He was right in the front few rows. Saw the whole thing happen.
Well, let me go further with that, Nino. If that was true, that he was pulling a ruse, he'd be doing that to his wife and kids. He'd be doing that with the assistance of President Trump, of Don Jr., who all would be involved in this for just theater, some great gain. He's going to go hide out in an earthly Valhalla and never come forward again with other criminals. You know, we got a Valhalla, but it's for a certain type of criminal in the physical world. And so, no, that's just asinine on its face. And in order to believe that, you then have to go along with this idea that other leaders that are out there for us are participants going along with it. They think it's okay to do that kind of a thing. The bad guys do that, not us. Seriously.
Yeah, I don't understand where this is coming from. I don't even want to know where it's coming from, but it's ridiculous. I don't even want to go into it any further than that. But Juan, I mean, you talked about it on the back channel on Nino'sCorner.tv. We could be expecting something more to come here. Do you think that coming into Rosh Hashanah that we could expect another big event? I mean, wouldn't they capitalize on this and go for it again? Or do they let it simmer and wait and do it next year? I mean, I don't know how this works.
People have, there's always events. Literally every day of the year, you can have some type of date-driven event, and the bad guys can make it fit some scenario that they have in mind. So I don't follow the dates as much as the numbers. I note them after the fact, if you will, because you can drive yourself crazy on, all these different dates and times, and they have something that fits everything. And even the Jewish events, yes, there's some validity. God has a schedule and follows, certain number of things like that. But then again, you can be off by a year. You can have some minor thing in that kind of a time period. And again, by the way, on the dates and the times, those other events, just like the Nuke in Seattle that they had in mind, and other things that we can't mention, those were all very date oriented and with celestial alignments and occult meaning and all sorts of things that was going to dial in.
Yeah. I put up an X post saying the blood moon. I said events to follow, and man, that aged a little bit too well. But hold on, Juanito. Let me just read this off real quick. Alex, do we have another gift card winner by any chance? Congratulations, Susan Potts. Congratulations, Susan Potts. Wiener, chicken dinner. Orale, Suzanne. You won. All right. So thank you, Suzanne, for playing Sancho's cheap date. Mexican Independence Day car caravans plan to hit Chicago streets despite ICE crackdown. This weekend, Chicago can expect a busy few days packed with Mexican Independence Day celebrations despite an increased immigration enforcement presence in the area. The Trump administration's push for deportation isn't deterring the Mexican-American community in Chicago from coming out and celebrating their culture. From downtown to Little Village, expect parades, car caravans, street closures, and large crowds, even illegal immigrants. They're saying that are going to actually attend this. So, folks, I don't know. I mean, we know where they should go now. ICE, you know where to go. In World War III news, I got some World War III news that I want you to chime in on here, Juan. Based on multiple news reports from September 12th, Saudi air defenses intercepted and destroyed a missile over the holy city of Medina, Reports indicate that a missile was launched by Houthi rebels in Yemen and was likely aimed at Israel. Key details of the incident. Now, you said something about this one. You were talking about this on Nino's Corner.tv.
Yeah, I mean, that was, 20 hours ago or something, when we talked previously, and it wasn't out in the public. But President Trump had meetings that were scheduled over the weekend, Sunday, and he had to cancel those meetings. One of the senators that was going to be in one of those meetings was doing something that I was tied to. And all of those got pushed off, and staff dealt with everything, but the president was just too preoccupied with that stuff. And then the other thing that is not really in the news, Trump has laid down the gauntlet with NATO. Either you are in or out. Europe's all concerned, NATO's all concerned about Russia is going to advance past Ukraine and be a threat to Europe and all this other stuff. So you have NATO to protect us against Russia's advance. And Trump's noting the fact that all these countries are buying cheap Russian oil and gas. And so they're funding Russia with its military operations. If you cut off that oil gas funding, just like Reagan did at the beginning of his administration, by driving down oil prices, nearly took out Texas along the way. That was the first step in stopping the Cold War and destroying the Soviet Union. And others followed. But that was the first and most important one. Trump is saying, okay, let's put 50 to 100% tariffs on China, because China's buying the oil and gas from Russia and funding this war in Ukraine. And people turn around and say, "Well, stop."
So this isn't really like, he's not like just great friends with Putin and their allies, their best buds. A lot of people think that. That's not the case.
No, and Putin isn't dropping his guard. He realizes that Trump has tried to stop stuff, but look at Zelensky. Zelensky wouldn't agree to a ceasefire. Russia was willing to do a ceasefire months and months and months ago. Just this last week, President Trump noted there was like 7,100 people died in the Ukraine war in 1 week. Imagine if 10 weeks ago, 12 weeks ago, a ceasefire had happened. You would have saved 70, 80, 90,000, 100,000 people from dying. And you could be working out some kind of a peace arrangement that's probably going to be the same arrangement you end up with at the end of this whole thing anyway. So all those people and the destruction, by the way, the infrastructure, if it was going to take 10 years, 20 years to rebuild the infrastructure, now it's 30, 40, 50. You've had the largest drone strike attacks in history. Russia did an even bigger one just a few days ago than any that's ever been done up to this point in time. They're getting bigger every week. This is Trump is saying, look, NATO, you NATO countries, we're not going to support you anymore. We're not going to be part of that anymore. So you better shit or get off the pot. If you don't want to negotiate an end to the war, if you don't want to cut off the supplies to Russia, you just want America to fight Russia and your money, then America's out. We'll just let let Russia invade Europe if you think that's going to happen.
Juan, do you expect some kind of a black swan event to happen next? Do you think I know we've talked on this. We think coming into October, Red October, how bad is October going to be this year? I mean, how red is it going to get?
Well, things continue. I've said all the way along, I felt there was a near-death experience, a Cuban Missile Crisis type event coming. Lavrov, the Russian foreign minister, essentially said exactly the same thing before the Ukraine war started. We're coming up on a Cuban Missile Crisis type event. So we're not stopping. It hasn't stopped. And, what will be the fate of the world? Look, if Russia launches missiles, will it stop at Ukraine if they get into some kind of a nuclear exchange? Would it stop with Europe? They've said, City of London is on their charts. Who's really orchestrating all of this drama behind the scenes? Literally, Britain, England is behind much of the mischief going on here that got us into this fight in the first place. By the way, where did the first attacks on Trump come from? Before he even announced he was running, let alone after he announced he was running, out of the City of London, the city within the city. That's where the dossier came from.
Juan, do you want to stick around
and
for
many other things?
Do you want to stick around for some what the fuck news?
Sure.
All right. Let's get to do we have another winner? And we have some super chats too, Juan. A lot of people want to ask you questions. A ghost of the now. Winner, chicken dinner, ghost of now. Orale, you want the dinner with Sanchito. All right, folks. What the fuck news in what the fuck news? And we're going to take super chats after that with Juan. So get your questions ready. NFL game interrupted by sex toy at most confusing time possible on CBS. Look what's happening. I mean, you tell me society's not breaking down. I mean, come on. CBS fooled while the WNBA has struggled with sex toys being thrown on the court all season. The NFL has had its first taste of the opening 2 weeks in the campaign with the latest incident coming in Cincinnati. The NFL has been plagued by the adult sex toy pandemic that engulfed the WNBA. Week 1 of the 2025 NFL season saw the league suffer its first few cases. An official had to pick up an adult sex toy and throw it off the field. I don't know, man. I mean, I had a friend that did at the NMSU UTEP game, he streaked across the field. So I've seen much worse than this. And he was very well endowed, by the way. So it was probably pretty traumatizing for many kids out there. Anyway, so this is just getting out of hand. It's getting stupid. I don't know why people are doing this. Don't you realize kids are watching these games? Children, families are watching this stuff. Have some decency. What's your thoughts on all this, Juanito? Is it a sign of society breaking down, or what do you think this is? You're on mute. You're on mute, Juan.
How are you doing? I'm getting my coffee, bro. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
I'll have a
That's what he thinks about it, I guess. But, folks, I got to say.
Large. Double pack.
I've seen some stuff. I've seen some nasty stuff. I've crossed over the border in Ciudad Juarez. I've seen headless bodies hanging over the bridge. I've seen a lot of stuff. I've seen heads stacked along the sidewalk. And for some reason, Charlie Kirk's death is affecting me more than any of that stuff. And I don't know if it's because Charlie Kirk was such a good man, such a sweet man, and his death was so violent, and it was a shot against him, his family, Christianity, the nuclear family. I'm not sure why I feel so disturbed by this, but I'm sick over it. I'm actually sick over this, like many of you are, and I can't understand what's happening to society. I just feel like I don't know what we do with these people, Juan. I don't know what we do with these people. We cannot coexist with this type of mental illness.
Well, again, because they've been tolerated with their way of operating, their views, etc., then they've kind of became cool, if you will. What's happening right now is what I'm telling you, society has made a turn. We've probably reached the apex of that boomerang's route, and it's on its return. And think of it this way, out through history. If you want to go all the way back, Sodom and Gomorrah, but Rome itself was extremely over the top during its Saturnist celebrations, and societies repeatedly over the last millennia have gone off the edge and then had to come back. The pendulum swings back. We're in that mode. Think of America with the Roaring 20s, and then go look at the 50s after the war, and people wanted to have happy days. They wanted to have a cleaner, more stable, go to church on Sunday type of mentality. and you can poo-poo that and say it was just theater and it wasn't ever really true. That's not accurate. Um, a lot of people came back from the war, a very traumatizing thing after World War II and the Korean War, and they were done. They just didn't want to do that. So, think of that. We're changing zip codes again as a society, as a people.
I need to get out to Hawaii and visit you, man. Let's take some super chats.
Okay, super.
All
Thank
right,
you,
so
girls.
Preston Jones, what's next, Nino? Well, we said it. There's going to be a lot of events coming. With the war is just beginning, folks. It is just getting started. Next super chat. Steph G, super sticker. Thank you so much. Beverly Adams, super sticker. Thank you, Beverly Adams. I'll see you in the general sent. ISBE. Is SES the same as MJ12? That letter
No,
in the alphabet refers
not at
to
all.
MJ.
Not It's totally
Okay.
different. Yeah, so
MJ12.
you can go look on the go do a Wikipedia. They're the keystone, and their entire function is to maintain continuity in government between elected administrations. They've deviated from their original mission. They've gone completely out of control. In fact, I had one of the people that decided to become a whistleblower within the FBI uh, noted the fact that I had been talking about this, and their whole entire reason for reaching out was because I understood the SES situation. They had additional information that they wanted to bring to the fore, along with other FBI people. We have a number of FBI whistleblowers now. You know, that I've dealt with, but also others come out independently, and they understand the captured operation that the FBI has become, and other intelligence agencies, CIA, etc., with SES hijacking operations of these investigative agencies. And remember, if you think that's just kind of hyperbole, um, in the first hour that Trump was president after his inauguration, he fired 9,000 SES employees within the
Wow.
first hour.
I
Okay.
didn't even know that.
Yeah. So he understands the problem also, that this is the hijacking of our federal operations. Every time Cheney had a fake heart attack, he was supposedly running the shadow government. They'd laugh about it. Well, what's the shadow government? SES.
Okay.
And on the British side, it's CIRCO, CIRCO. So anyway, go
All
ahead.
right, let's get to the next one. Next one, Lucia Robertson, super sticker. Suzanne Diane, I read today about that 47 admin removed T and to the letters T and Q from LGB on government website. Is this true? Thank you, David. And what did they want it though? Did they remove certain
I
letters
don't
from
know, but
the movement? Let's be careful with
I
this because
don't
this is
know, but
YouTube. This is YouTube, but we'll just go to the next question. But we'll look into that for you.
yeah.
Heidi Clance, Clacy, the Patsy for Charlie looks a lot like a triggered snowflake, and that debated him trying to verify this. Juan, do you know if he was going to expose what was happening at Eunice, amongst other things? Much love.
Ask me that question again. I'm not sure I understood it.
Juan, do you know if he was going to expose what was happening at Eunice?
At unis, at universities.
Oh, universities. Thanks.
Oh.
Yeah, universities amongst other things. So
Well,
happy Alex is
certainly,
here to help me out here.
Yeah, certainly that was part of the whole point with what Charlie Kirk was doing. He went to Utah, of all places, and was going to be on numerous campuses. It wasn't just the location where he was killed. That was the first of several. And there's something pretty wild, amazing happening in Utah right now. After the election was stolen, and I'm not mincing words.
No.
Oh, well,
We got to be careful on
Uh,
fluff here.
and by the way, Nino, let me just tell you something. The people that watch what goes on over there at YouTube, numerous other shows where I have gotten, cut off, not able to function, unable to say stuff. YouTube has not pulled down any of those shows over the last 6
I'm also
weeks.
able to have. All right. Well, I'm able to have
And
ads on
by
mine.
the
I don't
way,
want to
now
go
the
through.
only question there would be if where the shows are monetized, and I understand
Exactly.
that, and so, but
All right,
they've
next one.
changed the algorithms. They've changed them in the last
No.
several weeks, just so you know. So
They have not.
anyway, there's something wild going on. You'll see it with what's going on with the governor. In fact, I told in the show that we did last night, something major is about to hit Utah. Probably already hit by now, but I'll let that happen. That's going to challenge a number of people being able to be in office and their authorities to be in office. And it's a pretty, it's a major RICO, and I think it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out, especially because of the way that it's written. It's not one of these ones that takes years to play through. It'll play through pretty quickly, and it's going to be very disruptive within the government of Utah. So we'll talk more about that as the days go on.
Mario P. God bless. Had a random dream. We were talking about tunnels and how things were going to start coming out about their use. Do you know anything about that, Juanito? I mean, is that going to come out?
Well, I think it's been coming out continuously. You got tunnels all over the country that people don't realize are there, and underground operations, and it's been talked about for decades. But the specific way that some of them are being used, I think that continues to come to the fore. So I don't know if it's that new or unique, but there may be some specific locations or things that suddenly get greater exposure.
All right, next question. Tell Juan I love my coins and the kid on the side of the road book. God bless you, Juan.
Well, I appreciate that tremendously. And, I think that the book has aged very well with what's going on and where we're going. So that's kind of a fun gift. And the coins, I haven't raised prices on them since I did as silver came up through 39. And now it's up in the mid 42 range. And it's going to continue. I think the next stop is just shy of 50. And it won't be long because of what's coming with the Federal Reserve and the whole Treasury thing. Um, uh, and then, by the way, our coins are proof quality, so they're not just a uncirculated or something like that. So the comparison is the proof quality Silver Eagles, which are the more pricey ones, hard to get and like that. And that's exactly what we put out. So that's price wise, we're actually under what the Silver Eagle proof coins are. So anyway, there you go.
All right, let's get to the next one. Susan Diane, a clip of Juan explaining Valhalla is being used to imply Charlie is alive. Can you set the record straight, please? Thanks.
Yeah, Valhalla is a warrior's paradise, and in the Norse, history, religion, whatever way you want to say it, if a warrior died in combat, in battle, they were said to go to Valhalla. In a modern sense, there has been a handful of people that took a deal in order to cooperate, but they would never get to be free again, kind of in the Prisoner TV series, kind of a sense. And they're there, they can't get out, but they at least are still alive, is kind of the routine. But that is reserved for a very specific type of person, and who has done something that is evil, but they get a chance to survive, not in a tiny four-sided cell. Very, very extreme, and only a handful. To say that would be something that Charlie Kirk would agree to, or be required to accept is completely off the charts wrong. Um, uh, and by the way, again, it would imply that he was good with leaving his family. That people like
Didn't Cash
President Trump
Patel
were.
didn't Cash Patel say something like that? See you in Bahala or something.
Yes, and so that's a warrior's farewell to a fellow warrior. It's um, it's a way of saying Godspeed. You've done your part, and then in a warrior's heaven, that's the Norse Valhalla. And I think shoot, I've said that farewell to friends that have gone within a certain type of a group, and we all understood what it meant. It wasn't intended to be like some evil occult or something, going to some earthly prison because of something you've done. It's a warrior's paradise, and in this war that we're in, there's physical war, there's spiritual war, and sometimes they cross over. Charlie was waging an amazing spiritual warfare. And by the way, who knows what part, because they ran in similar circles, what part may have got purchase of hit solid ground in the heart of Elon to cause him to do the videos he's done over the last few weeks before Charlie's death. Again, there is a move of God. It's a hand of God thing. When God um, reaches into your heart, you know this yourself, Nino. You can be going 500 different directions, don't want to hear about it, could care less, and something happens. Middle of the night, nobody else is around, and some still small voice pops into your head. And are you ready? If you reach that point and people have a change of heart, they have a God moment and go a completely different direction. That's what's happening all across our country. Sometimes it's triggered by an event like what happened with Charlie Kirk. Sometimes there's no known physical thing, but cumulatively you've heard of a voice, you've heard something that was said by somebody like Charlie that caused you to have to think again. Something's happened to somebody close to you or some uncontrollable event, and you have to think about your humanity and where you are. And, are you going to hell? Are you going to heaven? And when you have to stop from the hustle bustle of life and then have that moment of repose, uh, that's when God speaks a lot of times, and that's what's happening to America. That's what's happening across the world. That 3 million people in England is nothing to just blow off. That's something amazing is happening. Just like J6, you had a huge turnout, largest turnout in Washington D.C. in history, and it happened in the dead of winter.
Is that the last?
To vilify. I'm sorry. Go
Is that
ahead.
the last? No, no. I don't know if we have more super chats. I wanted to get to all of them.
Oh,
Okay, so here's another one for you, Juan. VK, you okay, Juanito? Sounds like you've been sick for a while now.
Well, when I was in Johannesburg, Jen would say that I had just a little bit of maybe a cough or a flu prior to that, but the doctor I was with and myself both went through an area that was extremely toxic, nauseous, and it was his conclusion, my conclusion too, that just literally a couple minutes after we were through there, we had burned our sinuses and our throats. Something was being burned there that was
Is it
extra toxic.
worse? Is it worse than Mexico City?
Well, certainly the area that we went through was worse than any place I've been through before. And it was at a whole nother level. You think of third world countries, this is really a fifth world at this point in time. And there's, they're on the verge there of some kind of a major disruption, civil war, revolution, and it's going to be brutal when that hits.
All right, here's another one. Hi, Juan. Some are saying that Charlie's wife, Erica, is a modern-day Esther fulfilling the more modern age prophecies. What are your thoughts?
I don't know that I've heard that. I don't know if that would be the one that I would equate her to. Certainly, there's an Esther moment here with what's happening in society, and this boomerang, as Roseanne and I have talked about. She's going to have a role moving forward, and it's going to be significant. But I guess we'll have to just watch and see. I don't know if I would pin that on her at this point in time, because if you know the story of Esther, I don't think it quite fits exactly. But she will be an important voice. You can't be that close to, married to someone as vocal, precise, articulate as Charlie Kirk, and not have it rub off on you significantly. And so she'll be a voice moving forward, a huge voice.
Here's another one. Andrew Fay. They say we are practicing cancel culture while they practice assassination cult. We are not the same. I agree with you 1,000%, Andrew. 100%. Next one. Lori S. Was Ed Martin standing in front of the D.C. Justice Department today? He posted that pic today.
Well, no, we had Ed at a meeting I had in D.C. the other day, and super guy. He's in charge of the weaponization of government wing over at the Justice Department, but I don't know what he may have done this morning. I didn't see, so I'm quite a few hours behind you guys.
Yeah, a lot. Next one. Anthony Hummer was Cash in SES? No, right?
No.
All right, next question. XRP Shaman. Juan, thank you for speaking with us at Mel's documentary released last week. For me, it was an honor to speak with you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people are doing a lot of important work. There's so many different categories that are in play right now. And so, pick a lane.
Yeah.
And I will say this. Sometimes there's pressure to be in too many lanes at the same time. There's some of us that may, for various reasons, be in a whole bunch of different lanes at the same time. But you still have to have people that focus. So people that are doing things in the crypto world, if you were covering every last thing, you wouldn't be as effective where you are. Having a specialty, this happens with doctors. You can have a general specialist or a general doctor or whatever. But if you didn't have specialists that moved into just one specific area and really figure it out, really dive deep, the general practitioners wouldn't be nearly able to be as effective as they are. Having people to refer to for specialties, whether it's in finance or the politics or justice. For example, right now, even in the case being filed right now in Utah, there's aspects of that are being honed for other filings in other states. The fact that they went so deep there in Utah and got certain legal arguments locked in allows for others to come in and cookie cutter other places. Those people doing that work, they didn't know what day it was. They didn't know, a lot of the events going on. They don't know what Trump's saying about this or that or something else because they're so deep in the legal thing. That was where they were, focused. It was their specialty to get the job done. So that we have people that may seem a bit disconnected is sometimes to their credit because they're not allowing themselves to be distracted in a generic way. They're deep into a very precise thing, and that's what makes things work at other levels, makes the world go round. So I love the specialists.
Another question, Troy P. Tell Wands the coins are beautiful. Can you comment on? Yeah, we just did the Valhalla, but he says the coins are beautiful. Juan, let's get to the next one. Lisa Page Cohen. Is President Trump sending the National Guard into Portland? Our city is overrun with illegals and drugs and crime.
Portland is going to be, and Oregon in general, is going to be one of the main focuses. It is so far off the map in reality. The governor there also, just like Cox over in Utah, completely.
And
over the
Hochul,
top.
Governor of Hochul, is it Hochul in New York one? She endorsed Mamdani, is what I'm hearing. She just endorsed him.
Well, there's a plan to move forward there in New York, and I think it's a great plan to counteract some of this insanity there. But again, that's this moment we're in. The country is turning, and so a lot of these groups are moving forward as though the programming is unchanged, and they're going to watch their foundations just literally come apart right underneath them, shatter, and they're not going to find the support within the public that they thought they had. The coercion isn't going to work the same way. Again, when you break the MK Ultra programming as an individual or as a society, it doesn't just kind of gently clear like a fog in most cases. It just 1 second it's there, the next second the mirror is shattered. You might see some oddball reflections here and there. Our country and the world is changing direction. Like a boomerang, it's reached the apex of its turn and is now headed back. And it will be relentless in doing that. The American people are not the people that a lot of these leftists think they are. And while we tolerated things up to a certain point, even governmentally, a lot of that is going to come unraveled. And by the way, within the gay community, this is actually leftists politically and Marxists and Satanists that have hijacked the gay community.
Let's be careful with that. I don't want to go into that on YouTube. I know. Just trust me. There's community guidelines for this shit.
Well,
it sucks. I don't like it, but it is.
Well, I'm just saying that even they're not who a lot of these people are trying to.
Right. I agree. 100%. Let's get to Christian Joko. I think that's what it is. Just wanted to say that the guy who tipped his white cap at the Charlie Kirk assassination is Frank Turek, longtime friend of Kirk. Highly unlikely he was involved. What do you think?
Yeah, a lot of what was going on there is done in communications within their own security and crowd, attention to portray some of those actions and movements as being nefarious is to not understand how they work together as a team, and that was not signaling to somebody to, shoot Charlie Kirk at some certain moment. That's silly.
Okay, next question. Quentin B. Please tell Juan about Mullen Leaf. Tea and liquid, please. You got to get better, Juan. People are concerned about you.
I appreciate that. I'm concerned about me too, but I'm actually radically better. I don't have any pain or like that. But like a burn on your skin, a burn in your sinuses and lungs, the bronchial area, takes a little while for it to heal, and it is healing quite a bit. I've done, the nebulizers and stuff like that, and the doctor, he and I both had exactly the same experience. We're about the same place in recovering. It's like a burn, but feeling much better, doing much better. It's the way it is. I feel for all the people that are there and can't get away from what we experienced. We just had a couple minutes in a very bad area, and all the people that are living there, the children and everything else.
Jeez, I can't even imagine that.
It's gut wrenching. It's so disturbing, and so I pray for those people, that relief.
Yeah, at least you're able to heal and get out of there.
Yeah. that situation there in Johannesburg and much of South Africa will take a long time to correct, just like in the Congo. And even with certain agreements, there's stuff going on right now in the Congo to work things out between Rwanda and Congo, and they haven't given quite the right assistance to Uganda yet, but we're working on that. So, but you know, war is hell, and it's hell for little kids, and we have to stop it for them. You know, this whole Ukraine thing, Trump is saying, "Hey, NATO, if you're not going to stop you NATO countries buying the cheap Russian oil and gas, then you're not serious about stopping the war." And
Right.
you act like you're going to get invaded in Western Europe, Central Europe. Well, don't help the enemy keep the war going. And by the way, yes, we're sending arms in there to aid Ukraine, so they're not just walked over. But all sides have to stop feeding the Russian war machine. So,
All right, next question. Oh wait, the last one. XRP Shaman, Nino, thank you, my digital warrior, for all you have done in this movement. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. IQ E equals MAGA Corn. God bless everyone. Thank you so much, IQ. Next one, Piano Nun. Piano Nun. Oh, Scott, sometimes, yeah, you know. Is President Trump seen the video from TikTok about the Charlie Kirk Act? Smith-Mund Act. Oh, so is that going to happen? Are they going to reverse that act from Obama?
well, I think it probably needs to, because having what it says is it's okay for the media to lie to the people.
I mean, I'm dealing with it now. I mean, all this crap. Okay, let's get to the next question. We got to run through this. I got another podcast right next. Beverly Adams, Darkest Before Dawn. Stay strong. God's got this and us. You bet. Next one, Claire Charity. May we have Juan pray before we end the stream? Absolutely, Juan. Will you pray with us before we end the stream? Is that it, Alex? No, I guess not.
It's just one or two more.
Okay, Jeanette, are they preparing us for tribunals, Juanito?
Well, excuse me, I had to sneeze there. We're prepared for tribunals. It's coming. It's not this week, but it's coming like a freight train. So,
okay. Next question. What are we looking at with Kate Middleton? Is that I don't know what we're looking at. You know what we're looking at? I don't know what we're looking at.
Excuse me. Let me say this. Any of you that have read the occult numbers of Prince William by my friend Cal Donnie, Kal, last name Dani, and his blog. If you go read that, you'll have a much greater understanding of how that Royals Club views the role of Prince William and Kate coming into this period of time, this next deck, as King Charles steps aside one way or another. With that in mind, there's a certain narrative there, and Cal has added to his work over just the last couple of weeks and built it out further, made it easier to read. And in fact,
Juanito, I got it. I'm late for the next podcast. I have to wrap it up. I'm getting messages right now. They're waiting for me. So I got to go. But Juan, will you pray for us as we exit out of here?
I will, and I've only got a little voice left, so let me just say this. Father God, in the midst of all the confusion and the attempts to divert our life energy to do evil, we ask for assistance to reown our fate, our future, individually and as a nation. We pray that you would help us to regain control of how our life energy is used, whether it's converted into money, time, moments, that it be changed for us to do good, not evil. Good within our own families, our communities, our nation, and out to the rest of the world. We pray for guidance and assistance and favor as we seek to do the right thing, to do things that please you, that help lives, save lives, preserve life. We pray for this next generation of children, wherever they are in the world, that we would be the ones to help them have a real life of hope and to leave the programming turning to evil and destruction, even if there are destruction of their own bodies, that the devil would not have his way, the demons would not have their way, these spiritual parasites would be thwarted wherever they are, bound, removed from our society. They would find less and less place to occupy in the world around us, and that a new generation in the spirit of Charlie Kirk will rise up, and that this generation would have its help from you, Father God, to do the right things, to see society turn to good, not to evil, to beauty and not to ugliness, to wholeness, the way you designed us, and not some caricature of life. I pray that you would help people to choose healthiness, beauty, the way that they put art on their walls at their home or their skin on their arms and body, that it would be beauty and life and not celebrating death and destruction. That be the imprint on our souls moving forward, and that we would, as a nation, enjoy turning to you, Father God, in your ways into salvation, and that not one person in this audience would accept a hellish direction, and that they would all be moved in their hearts to turn to choose a heavenly direction, salvation, eternal life in your heavenly realm, streets of gold. And as Charlie was pointing all of us towards, help us in our words, our deeds, help President Trump and those around them with their decisions that they're making right this second, to help turn the country in a godly direction and away from evil. We ask all this in Jesus' name. By the blood of Christ, make it so. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Juanito, for joining me. I'll call you in a little bit. You need to get some rest. Thank you so much.
I don't need rest, just have to rest my voice. But
all right,
anyway.
folks. Also, thejennifermack.com, thejennifermack. I'll put a link down there in the bottom. Or Alex, if you can do it, just put. Oh, I'll do it. I'll do it after this show. thejennifermack.com. All right, Alex. Alex and Juan. I got to jump. All right, folks. I'm out of here. And the new heavyweight champion of podcasting and the black sheep of broadcasting.